Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is going to be another episode of Reforge Gaming News talking about Diablo Immortal. We've got gameplay as well as the fact that it's launching on PC. This is a surprise, a pleasant one, I will say. Going to give you all the info right here at the beginning of this stream. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you're here for the live streams. Also, don't forget to check your subscription feed on my channel every day, Monday through Friday. We're streaming, doing this live video game podcast. YouTube did some changes, and I'm not always showing up in your feed, so make sure that you do that. This is a Reforge update. Diablo Immortal got a PC release along with lots of gameplay to check out. We have all the info here in this video here on Reforge Updates. Remember to hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss the uploads. We've got a release date, a surprise announcement. We want to talk about the famous moment where they talked about phones. What's the beta going to have? We also have what exactly does the game entail? Is it free? Is there prices? Is there microtransactions? We've got all that for you. So I pulled this from Game Informer. Blizzard has revealed that it's Diablo MMORPG, a nice really long genre for you. Diablo Immortal will finally be released to mobile devices on June 2nd of 2022. And in a surprise announcement, it will also be hitting PC in open beta on the same day, okay? This is a big surprise. There's the infamous moment where he says, you guys don't have phones, where they made the announcement and everyone was obviously very, irritated that you're releasing a Diablo game, but you're not releasing it on PC where the game was born, and that moment has sort of become a bit of a meme. I think this is a great move by Blizzard to put the game on PC because Diablo 4 is not here. Diablo 2 Resurrected got mixed feedback from people like myself, and Diablo 3 has been doing incredibly well as an ongoing live service game with their seasonal format, very recently mimic seasonal format in No Man's Sky. So what will the beta be like? According to Game Informer, while the PC version of Diablo Immortal will be in open beta on June 2nd, Blizzard said this version of the game, quote, will contain all features, including cross-play and cross-progression, and upon conclusion, all progress will be maintained. So what will Diablo Immortal offer? If you're thinking like, it's a mobile game, who on earth wants to play a mobile game? Well, don't think that, because mobile games are probably the largest gaming genre in existence, or gaming platform in existence, and Diablo Immortal players will be able to choose between 6 classic Diablo classes: Barbarian, Crusader, Demon Hunter, Monk, Necromancer, and Wizard, as they embark on a journey through 8 unique zones in Sanctuary as well as the city of Westmarch. New and familiar Diablo characters like Deckard Cain, stay a while and listen, will make appearances throughout the base story that take place between the end of Diablo 2 and the start of Diablo 3. We all love Deckard Cain. So I actually think this is a pretty smart move, and it's also pretty ambitious if you look at their press release. They had the following to say: Diablo Immortal features an MMORPG social experience that's completely new to the series. Players will share a massive world with others as they explore Sanctuary, form war bands with up to 8 members, and take on group challenges such as the intense Heliquary raid boss, and join clans with up to 150 friends to earn challenging clan achievements. The game also features a robust faction-based PvP system. So a very, very robust approach, a very ambitious approach to a mobile game that will also be on PC. There's also ongoing battles that you can take part in. With the Cycle of Strife, players can band together to fight in an ongoing war in which the top player of the server will earn the Eternal Crown to become the leader of the Immortals. This puts them in a position of having continuously defending their reign across a series of modes, including brutal 1 vs 30 showdowns. So they've got a lot planned for this, but is it free, and what do you have to pay for? Diablo Immortal is a free-to-play MMORPG that hits iOS and Android devices on June 2nd. The same day hits PC open beta. You can have actual in-game purchases that are optional, and this is what they had to say. Over 30 million players have already pre-registered across all platforms to gain access as soon as the game launches, preparing themselves for the battles to come. All players will receive the stunning Horadrim cosmetic set to celebrate the significant milestone when the game launches. launches. This is just the beginning, as new content will be released regularly to players for free in the years to come, including new zones, dungeons, and character classes. So they don't give any details about what the optional purchases are going to look like. We'll have to cover that when the game comes out. As always, if you enjoyed this Reforge update, hit subscribe and the bell button. Check me out on Reforge Gaming, where I stream this live, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Those of you watching on YouTube, those of you watching on TikTok, and those of you listening in Discord. We appreciate you supporting the channel so much. We appreciate you supporting all of our various locations where you can consume our content. Remember to go through your daily ritual, hit the like button, switch over to live chat if you're on YouTube, and let us know what you think about this. Are you going to be checking it out? We're actually going to run a poll on YouTube. Diablo Immortal, will you be playing? Yes or no? Will you be playing? I think it launching on PC has changed the name of the game. Yo, what's good, Solid Snake? Good morning, Train, over there on TikTok. Good morning, everybody on YouTube as well. Awakened Void, African Jedi. Rudy says good morning. What else do we got here? What's an ARPG? So an MMO ARPG is a massive multiplayer online action role-playing game. So they're throwing in the word action because of the way that the combat will largely flow from, you know, abilities and skills. Yo, what's good, Little Boo69? How are you? Just lurking, what's good? NBCTM says solid maybe. Quiet Shy says I'm going to say maybe. Surprised that you guys are saying maybe. It's free, you know? It's free. Let's get our first 100 likes on YouTube, guys. That would be amazing. We somehow already have 3,000 likes on... I don't know how we have 3,000 likes already on TikTok. You guys are insane. There's not even that many people watching on TikTok. So thank you so much for that. I really have no desire to play any more free game stuff with microtransactions, says D-Flow. That's obviously a concern, to think that you know, there might be, you know, this sort of, hey, it's free to play, so we're well within our right to jam it full of micros and really irritate people. That's always the concern with free-to-play games. That's always the concern with a game that has no front-facing cost. Recently discovered your show, says Night Fury. Quality content, will recommend 100%. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, anybody that enjoys watching this kind of content on TikTok, man, let them know. What's good, J Murph? What's good, Icebreaker? I'll try it for sure being free, says Seamus. I wasn't listening, says Quiet Shy. I didn't realize it's free. I changed my vote to yes. Yeah, I mean, for free, I would just figure, man, let's just go. Little Boo says watching here and on YouTube. Oh, you guys are the absolute best. We're going to have to hit, I think, a rhythm on TikTok before we start to get some traction with viewership, but there's a big possibility of growth over here, as well as growth on YouTube if YouTube would, you know, get its act together. We're still having some strange behavior on the platform, so again, make sure if you ever don't see me live on YouTube, check your subscription fee and my channel. We're doing 2 and sometimes 3 streams a day over here on Reforge Gaming, Monday through Friday. African Jedi says, I was on board when it was announced on mobile because, of course, I have a phone, but also it feels like a nice buffer until Diablo 4 comes out. Yeah, you know, where do I find the Discord? There's a Discord command in chat if you type that, or you can go to discord.gg/ReforgeTV. I always have you on my feed, always. Well, for a while there, we weren't appearing in people's feeds. Jacob says, before we start, how do you think the shareholders will vote on the 28th? Myself, I think they will vote to approve the Xbox Activision deal. Oh, no, that's going through. Yeah, 100% that's going through. They won't. They're not going to try to stop that, I don't think. Derek says, I mean, I guess maybe this kind of release might be tempting if you can play your character in both platforms. Grind it out during the day on your phone, play more seriously on a PC at home. Yes, that was a part of the announcement. That's actually a good question and a good thing to highlight. They did say that there would be, where is it? I swore I read that it would offer cross progression. I thought I read that, and I don't see it now. Maybe I'm misremembering. I swear I read that in the briefing, and now I'm not seeing it in my right here. It'll contain, okay, so the PC version will contain all features including cross-play and cross-progression. There it is. I just wanted to make sure before confirming that was in fact factual. Yes, cross-progression is a thing. So exactly, that's such a good point. You can just be out roaming around playing Diablo. Good morning, Feed. Good to see you there in the chat. You know, playing Diablo, and then you get home and you can grind out some more. Does it consist of a story? I will say, since they're calling this an action RPG, I will say that it is likely, it is likely going to be light on story. That's going to be my prediction. I think there will be story, but I think it's going to be pretty light on the story. Mainly because I don't think they need to focus on that. You know, if they were, you have to think about the fact that when they were originally building this and constructing this as a game, it was originally designed for mobile. So I don't know if they would have put a huge emphasis on story when something's only going to be on mobile. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about Diablo Immortal gameplay. I'll be happy to show you some if you guys want to see it. You guys on TikTok won't be able to see it. I'll try and commentate. There's actually really great footage from Game Informer where they show good side by side, and they do like a captured on PC, you know, thing, and then they let you see it on mobile as well. So if you're curious what it's going to look like between the two, let's get a look here at, I'm going to probably have to, let me see. I think I switched my capture device last night. Yeah, let me move myself out of this corner because that's where a lot of the stuff goes. That's where a lot. So if you're watching on TikTok, the gameplay that they're showing is gameplay you may have seen before. It's got the traditional sort of icons down in the right-hand corner, just showing that he's, you know, hitting his attack, and he's got 4 options, 4 abilities that are on a bit of a refresh. So this is captured on mobile, and what it will look like if you play it on your iOS, Android device, iPad, or something of that nature. You know, one of the things I tend to not like about mobile games is exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing sort of this, you have to be constantly touching the screen, and I've just never been a big fan of that. Now, graphically, I think it looks fantastic for a mobile game. I'm not sure if they're going to give you any kind of a graphical bump when you play on PC. Did they build it in an engine, and did they build it with that agility? I think is a good question. Announcing for the first time crossplay on PC, it says. So this is early game footage of people playing on PC. Now, they do a side-by-side in this video to let you see exactly what it's going to look like on PC. So maybe we can see if we can't point out some graphical differences between the two. Watching on both platforms. Thank you, Solid Snake. Derek says, I mean, I won't play it for even 5 minutes, but I can see how cross-play or cross-progression in a free title like this would be really enticing for fans. Probably really good move by the devs. Controller support for mobile. I don't know if I've seen controller support listed anywhere. So here we have PC footage. Okay, PC. I'm not, until we get a side-by-side, it's hard to see if there's any sort of a difference here, just because he's just hacking away at some people. Now, you'll notice down in the corner, the abilities have gotten significantly smaller because they don't need to be large. Because if you think about when you're holding something and you're moving your thumb on that corner, it needs to be pretty large, especially on a phone screen as opposed to a tablet. But on the PC version, down there in the corner, they've shrunk those icons significantly just because, you know, you don't need to see them as much. You still need to see them for the icons to know what abilities are available and if they're on a countdown or not. If you guys are enjoying the show on any of the platforms, whether you're watching on YouTube or TikTok, make sure and smash like. Make sure and follow or subscribe, whichever, if you want to have me in your feed on a regular basis. We do variety gaming news coverage. It's basically video game radio. It's a talk show, and I am safe for work. A lot of people throw me on in the background. That way they can kind of like have something throughout the day to listen to get me through their day. The poll in the YouTube chat says, Diablo Immortal, will you be playing? We launched the poll 8 minutes ago, and it is split right down the middle, 50-50. It is not out yet, Butters. It goes live on June the 6th. I'm going to do this thing, too. Thank you, Reckless Gambit. I appreciate it. You guys that are watching in both places. He's fighting Boss Gorman. That's kind of an interesting name for a bad guy. Boss Gorman. Sounds like something out of like a sitcom. I'm Boss Gorman, and I'm here to sell you insurance. During the live stream yesterday, they confirmed controller support. They had it in the beta. Oh, so Kraken saying controller support will be available for the mobile version. So that's good to hear. I don't like the virtual joystick thing mobile games do, says Seamus. The mobile has its own advantages via touchscreen, and imitating a controller is not one of those advantages. Since it's going to have controller support on mobile, my question would be, is there going to be any sort of a shrinking of those icons when you plug your controller in? Are they going to keep those icons fairly large? Is there a way for you to customize the screen in Diablo Immortal? Or is it just going to be, no, that's just always there at that size? It really has to be said, almost all of us are old controller fogies. Kids today can prefer touchscreen controls and find a real controller completely uncomfortable. I mean, that is true, and I think that's where having a game that's versatile and agile and, allows you to do both is actually kind of important, It allows people to play where they, feel it is best. Guys, remember, if you're enjoying the channel, there are ways to support what we do on YouTube. We do have paid memberships. $5 a month gets you into our extra content that we do on Thursday afternoons and Friday nights. Just last week, we did on Friday community game night. We played some Fortnite. Most times on Friday, I'm playing with my wife, having drinks and laughing, but it is members only. Consider supporting the channel directly that way. There's a join button. There's a members link in the description, and you can type !join in the chat. Or you can be our first coffee order of the day. We do sell our own coffee. It is not a sponsorship. It's actually ours. We ship it from our home. Now, it looks like some of these assets are... This looks like a very familiar area, but maybe I'm just imagining things. The one on the right, captured on mobile, looks like a place I've been to before. I'm not actually sure, but... Oh, see, here they're showing you how directional will work on mobile. Yeah, I see. Again, I just think, man, I'm so glad they brought this to PC, because everybody that I've heard from who has played the Diablo Immortal beta, everybody who's had an opportunity to play, they've all said basically the same thing, that it is surprisingly good, right? Is this like cookie clicker? I don't think so, but the reviews of the beta have been very good, and I was like, man, I would love to have some new Diablo while we wait for Diablo 4, and especially if they're going to be doing it as an MMORPG, as an ongoing game, you do have to wonder, man, is there potential for us to regularly play it, cover it, have players play with you guys, whatever. We've tried to do that with a couple of games, and it's been very difficult because New World and Lost Ark just demanded so much of our time that it just didn't work for our format here. We are largely a talk show before we are gameplay. But we are wanting to feature gameplay more often on the channel. We think we have a way of doing that. We take the talk shows down just a touch, just a smidge, because they tend to get off rails last hour anyway. And that'll give us an opportunity to play some new games. Turbo Overkill is a game we may be checking out today on the channel if both talk shows go the length that we're hoping. The second talk show today is about Ubisoft. What is going on over at Ubisoft? That's a big question that we have. There is all kind of stuff going on. They're announcing games they're potentially selling. Their stocks dropped. Now their stocks are up. So that's our second show for the day. We want to know what you think of Diablo Immortal. We're looking at the gameplay right now. Diablo Immortal gameplay and the PC release. This is something that we didn't think was going to happen, but it hitting PC is huge. I saw predictions on Twitter that it will also be hitting console once the PC beta concludes. I think that's actually a pretty good prediction. That, you know what, the beta will be a perfect opportunity for them to kind of test the game out and then push it to other platforms. It works. This game works so well on controller. If you've not played Diablo 3 with a controller, I just think you're really... I understand those that would never do that. If you grew up playing Diablo on PC only, I could see being like, no, thank you. I only ever want to play on mouse and keyboard. I get people to do that. Now, we have a necromancer here. He's not popping any of those corpses, so he either doesn't have the ability to do it yet, or he's just not showing that off, because those corpses could be either reanimated, raised. He does have two people fighting with him, three summonable beings, it seems. And sometimes he can burst those corpses, but he's opting to not do that. And he's fighting Monaruk right now in the gameplay. For those of you that are on Discord that can't see the gameplay, I don't have the way of doing that. We don't have a way quite yet of doing that on TikTok. You can always head to youtube.com/Reforge Radio. Or if you just prefer to listen to my voice and have a nice talk show on TikTok, that works as well. If I can play with a controller, you bet I'm playing, says Ryan. Is this free? It will be free on June the 2nd on mobile devices, Android and iOS, and it's entering PC beta, which it'll basically be the exact same game on PC with cross-play and cross-progression, and it will be able to have controller support on both platforms, PC as well as the mobile devices, if you go through the appropriate steps of getting your controller to work. I wonder I wonder what the difficulty is going to be like, given that it was crafted and built for mobile, right? I wonder, because you can't do so much, like you can only move so fast and only do so many things on mobile. I wonder if it's going to be a very, very casual game, which I'm always in support of that, to be quite honest. You never played Diablo, so I don't know what good gameplay looks like, but would love to see some PvP. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to show PvP in here, but PvP is a huge element of Diablo Immortal. We read in the description. Let me read it to you again if you weren't here for the info right when the information was dropped at the start. Here's some good graphics to show off the simplicity of the inventory. This again is captured on mobile. You can see just the straightforward info. Very, very clean. Nice look at your player and your character. Good graphics. You know, customizing your character is a huge element of games like this. Good morning, Heavy Metal Mama. How are you? Thank you so much. It says Q&A. Train says, good morning, Lono and stream. Glad to be here. Yo, good to see you, Train, over there on TikTok. That's so weird to say, but it's cool that we're able to stream over here now. Now, here it says in the realm of PvP, it does say that it features a robust faction-based PvP system. You can join clans of up to 150 friends. You can form war bands of up to 8 members. But if you want to take on PvP, it says here, Cycle of Strife, players can band together to fight in an ongoing war in which the top player of the server will earn the Eternal Crown to become the leader of the Immortals. This puts them in the position of having to continuously defend their reign across a series of modes, including brutal 1v30 takedowns. So that is 100% a thing that you can dive into if it interests you. And we don't have no new members yet on YouTube and no coffee orders. So if you haven't done that yet, get your coffee re-upped and ordered, or become a member today on YouTube. I didn't have any interest in playing because my laptop doesn't support gaming and I don't like mobile games like this. But this game having controller support definitely draws me in to play. Yeah, and you can see how controller support would work so easily, right? You have your attack button, and then you have 4 abilities. So you would just bind those 4 abilities. I guess you could just bind them to your 4 things, and just use trigger for the main attack. Maybe, I don't know. Move around with your joystick. Use your right joystick for aiming. You know, if you need to pivot or rotate around when you have those area of effects or those casts that you do out in front of you. 1v30, holy moly. Right, yeah, that's pretty significant. If I can click the things and get the loots, I'm down. Right, just give me the looties, man. Give me the looties and the shooties. That's all I need. That's all I need. Distorted says, I'll be playing Diablo Immortal on my Steam Deck with my Steam controller, so I get the best of both platforms. We got a Steam fanboy in the chat. If you're just tuning in, we're checking out Diablo Immortal gameplay on YouTube. Those of you watching on TikTok can't see the gameplay. I'm trying to narrate it as best I can while also keeping the conversation going. If you're enjoying the conversation in the show, hit subscribe and do me a favor, smash the subscribe button. That way you don't miss my content here on YouTube or on TikTok. Hit follow. Yo, good morning, Sean. How are you? Good to see you. Good morning, Hercules. Good to see you. Like you said, Lono, hate having my hands all over my screen to play a game, and I've always used controller. Yeah. Good interactive game, says YouTube Police. Bro, this looks so much like those N64 Gauntlet games we used to rent and play all weekend. Yes. I remember when Gauntlet went like actual nice 3D and just good. It was just a good little dungeon crawler, and we played it on the Nintendo 64. Our cousin was much younger than us, and he was like real bright, real sharp kid for his age, right? He still is, but for his age, he was like ahead of the class, right? He was maybe a little too smart for his own good. It made him a bit of a smart aleck, but we liked him. We liked playing video games with him, and he had an impeccable memory. It had been months since we had played, months since he had been at the house, and he was like, I think there's something over here in this chasm. It's a secret. He's like, we did this last time. I was like, okay. Sure enough, we walked over, and there it was. So, yeah, the Gauntlet game on Nintendo 64 was actually really, really good. I remember playing Gauntlet on the original Nintendo with the 4-player adapter, and it was basically Scream at Your Siblings simulator. You know, go! Come over here! Come on! You're holding us back! Because you couldn't move if just one person on the screen decided to, linger. You couldn't do anything. Blue Valkyrie is about to die. What a time. What a time to be alive. So they're continuing to show it being captured on mobile. When it's captured on PC, the buttons in that right side get significantly smaller. As well as I think all UI elements get a little bit smaller, but we are just kind of letting the gameplay loop to give you guys a nice sampling. If you're enjoying the content, let us know in chat what you think. Chime in. Galleon says, don't want to ruin it for folks, but as a warning, there are pay-to-win elements and PvP is not normalized like Lost Ark. You can't just buy gear, but upgrading gems is where that comes in to play. So let me ask you something, Galleon. So you've played this and you have concerns about pay to win, right? Pay to win's a huge thing. Only in PvP. All the people that argued with me tooth and nail about Lost Ark, I know it's hard to be wrong, but you were wrong about that. You can't call pay to win in PvE environments. I think that's ludicrous. Warframe's pay to win then. We've never ever used pay to win in those realms. Only when people have a desire to be negative, and I think it just led to just a lot of intellectual dishonesty. But, paying to advance faster in a game like Warframe, nobody has ever called that pay to win. But when it's PvP oriented and it's not normalized and you can pay for advantages, you can buy gems or things of that nature, then yeah, I think that's a massive problem that motivates that. And being on mobile, the worry would be that would be a huge turnoff to your PvP fans. Now, I am not a PvP guy, admittedly. I do not play these games for the PvP. I just don't. So the question would be, does that create a huge turnoff for the PvP crowd and ultimately hurt the game? Because I know that's a huge draw for games like this, right? Warframe has PvP and it's 100% pay to win. This is the first day I have ever heard that. On April 26, 2022, all the things I've ever heard about Warframe, I've never heard anybody say it's pay to win and has PvP. Warframe is not pay to win, it's pay to skip and time save, that's it. Yeah, I don't think it's ever been described as pay to win, Butters. You're skipping like time limits and grind. Galleon says, I will not play PvP, so I'm not super worried about it myself, but it's definitely possible to pay to upgrade gems through legendary crests. Huh. You would have to pay me to play Warframe PvP? Yeah, I have tried so many times to get into Warframe, and I've just never, ever been able to do it. It's not my bag. The content loop I just find to be, not enjoyable. So most of the footage that they're showing here captured on mobile. The wizard now, getting a little glimpse at the wizard with some chain lightning. And this wizard needs... See, this is one of the things that I think is going to be challenging on mobile, and I wonder what the difficulty is going to translate into on PC, mainly because you can only make it so difficult, if you're having to manage basically it's a non-full duplex screen, right? In my experience, when I play mobile games, you can only hit it so many times. So you have to move and then attack and then move and then attack and then attack and attack. So you can't be like move, attack, move, attack, move, attack, move, heal, move, attack, move, heal. Like, you can't interweave your inputs. At least my experience with mobile games, that's how I've ultimately felt. It feels as if you're just sort of, again, it doesn't feel full duplex. It doesn't feel full duplex, which means they might have to tone down the intensity. I wonder if that's why they are doing a PC beta, because they want to make sure. Now we got some captured on PC here. A Demon Hunter doing some flips and some moves. I think mobile, when you connect a controller, most games change the size of the UI, so I think a controller will be the best experience unless the cap card causes input lag, for sure. Even some of the people who staunchly defend Lost Ark at launch have now admitted the game is basically pay to win. Yeah, but that doesn't make it pay to win just because people change their tune. How much of them change their tune because of the ravenous and intellectually dishonest public that continued to claim pay to progress was pay to win? Like, redefining terms, I'm always going to say this. If you have to redefine terms to make your argument correct, you're being intellectually dishonest. And historically speaking, within gaming, the colloquialism of pay to win has never, ever, ever referred to progression in PvE. It's never referred to that. Pay to win has always referred to getting an advantage to win in a competition, to win against another player. That is not present in Lost Ark because they normalize the PvP environments. They normalize the gear. So, well, you can pay to advance in the game faster. You can pay to get stronger stuff to be stronger in the main game and in the PvE. Yes, and you can do that in a host of other games that have never been called pay to win because it's intellectually dishonest. That argument is so weak and paltry. Just because big YouTubers gave in to the mob doesn't convince me of anything. Lost Ark is pay to progress if you can't wait till tomorrow. It's not pay to win. 555 hours in Lost Ark and 0 pay to win. I bought some skins. That's it. That's what I mean. Like, we have two great terms we can use. Pay to progress and pay to win. We've used these terms historically because they mean drastically different things. And to suddenly just bake them all into one umbrella term as pay to win is confusing. And again, it's intellectually dishonest. Lost Ark, spend money, allows you to clear PvE content in the same amount of time. Don't spend money, grind for literal years to maybe get to the same point. Yeah, the same is true of Warframe. The same is true of any other pay-to-progress game. And it's never been called pay-to-win. It's always been called pay-to-progress. That's what everybody called it in Warframe. That's what everybody called it in... there were times where you could do it in Destiny. If you wanted to catch back up with your second and third characters, you could use those Spark of Light. It was pay to progress. It wasn't pay to win. Spark of Light didn't give you any advantages in PvP. You could never buy guns or exotics or anything like that. You couldn't, like, go to the Eververse and be like, give me a god roll, you know, and the same is true of Warframe. Like, if you don't want to stand around and wait and you want to speed up the grind, you can pay to progress. So... back to Diablo 4, since people are trying to trudge up a stupid argument, and I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm not going to acknowledge it. It has nothing to do with Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal, though, according to Galliant, has elements of pay-to-win in its PvP, and that is something we'll have to measure and critique as it comes, because that is entirely different. If you can pay for strength in a PvP environment, that is dramatically different than what, like, Warframe does, right? This is why laws need definitions. That's right. Are you issuing a foal calling the argument poultry? Paltry? Poultry? If you're just tuning in, we're watching Diablo Immortal gameplay, as well as talking about the PC release. If you're enjoying the show, give us a like. Get us to our first 200 like milestone of the day. And we appreciate the support and the viewership. This game does feature PvP. It does feature environments where you can end up in like 1 versus 30, player versus player. Looking good, Lono. Thank you, Bigo2214 on TikTok. And then Sean says, we are taking the DISC assessment at work right now. Have you ever taken it? If so, what were you? No, I've never actually taken that. I don't know what that is. This is the first time I've ever heard the term pay to progress. I've always heard those games described as pay to win. Pay to progress is a much better description. I always heard it as pay to progress because whenever we cover Destiny, people always compared it to Warframe. And then people would be like, it's pay to win. And people who play the game would be like, no, it's not. It's, you know what I'm saying? This is why these conversations, I find them to just be so futile, because people just use like internet colloquialistic dirty words because it's a great and easy way to criticize something. People say cash grab, people say pay to win, people say all kinds of things, and then upon inspection you're like, yeah, not really. So that's why I find the argument to be pretty tiresome, because I do feel the other side is redefining terms to suit their aims, which is always, I think, unhelpful in a discussion and an argument. Do you think the Diablo 4 will be delayed, says Butters? Like Distorted said, Blizzard did not mention PC support. Why would they do it? Money, yeah, but still, you think there's any connection here? I don't think this project has any connection whatsoever to Diablo 4 or Diablo 4's working bandwidth. I have zero concern about that. I really, really don't think so. I don't think you're going to have to worry like, oh man, Diablo Immortal is going to hurt Diablo 4. Generally speaking, projects of this size are completely different teams of people. You have to consider that Diablo Immortal was originally from the ground up built for mobile. I would imagine that's going to be a completely different set of people, teams, skill sets, development prowess. Being an engineer for one, it doesn't necessarily you can be an engineer for another. You know, I'm not concerned about that at all. So just money? I'm not sure what you mean by just money. Redefining terms is a thing of the generation. Look at all... Yeah, we're not going down that road. Whoever gets to the highest gear score or level first is a player-created concept. You guys are having the argument anyway. How does this look compared to the other Diablo? This seems more cartoonish. I would say the gameplay, Eugene, is faithful to what Diablo 3 fundamentally looks like and plays like. The iconography and the menus are obviously a lot more simplistic and minimalistic. And in being minimalistic, they have a little bit more of a cartoony aspect. So here you're seeing a warband engaging in some combat. If you're not on YouTube, you can't see this, so I'll try and describe it as best I can. We're looking at multiple players engaged in combat. As far as I can tell, there's 3 to 4 players playing together, engaged in like a battle in like a little circular area, and doing all their different casting. It looks like I can see like a barbarian, a wizard, and a demon hunter. So it looks like we have 4 people playing together right now. And the person right here is a wizard, but they're also wielding a sword of some sort. And now this looks to be probably a monk. Yeah, lots of punching and dashing. Fun co-op, yes. Did I miss us being told not to defend it as not being paid to win? My bad. No, I said I wasn't engaging in the argument. I find the argument to be incredibly stupid. Like, we spent probably 3 hours debating... No, we probably spent 2 different 3-hour streams debating it, and I just find it to be a waste of time. And I don't like hijacking a Diablo Immortal stream to talk about something that we've already spent so much time on, and I won't convince the people that are happy to redefine terms, and they won't convince me. So, you know. Pay to prog... Yeah, you see, this is still happening. I know you don't know much about the game War Thunder, says Murphdog, but that game is 100% pay to progress and pay to win. It takes literal years to grind out just one tech tree for just one nation. For clarification, there are 9 nations in the game, with 4 of them having extensive tech trees. So if you want to get anywhere quickly in the game, you have to pay, not to mention the premium vehicles. Someone can definitely be considered as pay to win. If there's no PvP... Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're making me do it. Listen, because it might apply to Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal has PvP and it has microtransactions that have yet to be defined. Galliant in chat has indicated that there is pay-to-win elements in the PvP because you can pay to upgrade your items and pay to upgrade your gems, okay? So that in and of itself is pay to win, all right? So quite literally, if there is a player versus player environment and you can spend money to get advantages in that player versus player environment, that is pay to win. If you have a PvE game that intentionally or by design has slowed down progression to such a degree that people feel they need to spend money to progress in a reasonable fashion, that is not pay to win. That is called the art of the squeeze. They are squeezing the player and pitting their progression against them in an effort to get them to spend money. These terms, these categories are incredibly important, and here is why. If you call everything pay to win, you are removing your ability to accurately critique a problem. If you're describing the art of the squeeze, if you're describing pay for power, if you're describing pay for progress, then you should call it that. When you don't call it that, all you do is create confusion and make gamers look like a bunch of nondescript, vague, low vocabulary dum-dums who can't make their point intellectually or clearly. So using these terms and having this clarification is dramatically important, right? I'm not scolding you, Murph Dog. I am simply saying this is exactly why before we launch into these categories, it's important to establish them. There's a giant difference between a game. Like, let's say Diablo does that. Let's say Diablo Immortal squeezes the crap out of you. You can't progress, you can't level, you can't get anything, and you feel like you have to spend money. That shouldn't be called pay to win. It shouldn't be called pay to win because it's not what it is. You should call it what it is, right? You are manipulating the player, squeezing the player. You are pitting the player's progression against them. Sunk cost fallacy at full steam ahead. They're so invested in the game, they feel like they must spend money. That is not the same as somebody paying for power in a PvP environment. You simply must have clarity for these things, because if you don't, it just causes confusion. If you want to accurately call a company to account, call them to account for what they're doing. Call them to account for the mistakes that they're making or the bad design decisions that they're doing. These things are vitally important. I know you're not scolding me. Yeah, I just want to be clear. Lono feeling the pains and needles in the brain that Zubair and I have when we wade into legal topics. It's just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate your passion as a gamer. I appreciate your love for gaming, and that's what drives the criticism. But just take a second and upgrade your categories so that you have more clarity. You are well within your right to criticize a company for slowing progress to get money from you. You should criticize it, right? You should criticize that. We should criticize games that set up player versus player environments where you can spend money for power. We 100% should criticize those things. But when you lump everything into one category, one term, one internet dirty word label, I just think you're neutering your ability to accurately wield criticism well. So I just, that's my take on it. And honestly, if Diablo Immortal has pay to win in it, then that needs to be addressed. If there are PvP environments in Diablo Immortal and it motivates people to spend money for power, if it motivates people to spend money for advantages, then that is incredibly problematic. At its core, this is why. I'm about to show you why it's so important to use the appropriate terms. Pay to win, at its core, corrupts the very nature of PvP, okay? The nature of PvP is where players enter into an arena and compete to see who is the best. Now, obviously, there are parts moving here. You might have leveling, you might have gear that you need to go and get. Maybe you have more time, maybe you have more ability to play and invest, so that's going to give you advantages in the game. And I think a spectrum of advantage in a game is okay if it is earnable, because then it's just a matter of the player's commitment combined with the player's skill, okay? Those two things come together, and that tends to lead to the better players. You've got more stuff. Now, purely PvP games aren't quite the same, because a purely PvP game would be one like, Halo, or any of the battle royales. There's RNG elements in battle royales, but you're all sort of agreeing to those rules that you might get a random item on the map, and when that random item on the map is better than the opponent's random item on the map, you may get the kill, more because of your gear and less because of your skill. But generally speaking, by the time you get to the end of a battle royale map, it is largely determined by skill, because you've had enough opportunities to get good gear and get the kit that works within the way that you like to play, okay? Pay to win completely undercuts and corrupts the idea of players coming together and seeing who is the best, because I can enhance or mitigate my lack of skill with money. I can subsidize a lack of skill with my credit card, and we know what this does. It creates a culture of predatory spending. Essentially what you're doing is you're saying you must spend to compete. You're not charging a ticket cost to get in, you're charging a ticket cost for almost every encounter. Well, this person spent money, they're stronger than me, now I have to spend money. It becomes a seesaw of coercive spending, passively coercive spending. Like you're making people feel like they have to spend money in order to compete. And what this does is it's basically entrance level. You got to spend this money to come in, and then you got to spend money to keep going and keep grinding. There was a game called Marvel Puzzle Quest that did this in one of the most sinister ways I think I've ever seen. They would release a character, and I really caught on to this when they released Hulk. They released the Incredible Hulk, and until you level him up, all of his powers and his abilities don't have full strength. Now, you could spend money on these crystals or something, and you could level him up instantaneously and start whooping the crap out of anybody that you came across. Why? Because he was intentionally designed to be OP. He was stronger than every other character. What would happen is there would be about a 1 to 2 week period where he would dominate, and everybody felt motivated to spend money because you simply could not play enough to level him up fast enough to compete with the other people who had Hulk. After a 2-week period, when they maximized their sales and everybody had leveled up Hulk to his full strength, and they could tell that the purchasing was tapering off because the whales had done their due, and that infects the culture, and then the culture responds to the whales, and then everybody's kind of maximized Hulk, then they would nerf him. And then all the people that had spent money had basically, in some respects, wasted their money because now he was just a normal character, but it was manipulation 101. They would manipulate the player base to do this all of the time. In a similar fashion, in a game like Diablo Immortal, if you motivate people to spend money by the sheer fact that other people are spending money, it creates an incredibly toxic, coercive spending culture of, if I do not spend, I cannot compete. So you invalidate the game apart from spending. The game's fabric, the game's identity gets completely invalidated apart from spending. So then the game's identity is now interwoven with spending, which means you are essentially telling players if they want to play, they must consistently and continually pay. And that's why pay to win is so toxic and bad. And that is why calling pay to progress pay to win is disingenuous at best and intellectually dishonest at worst. You are calling something pay to win that is simply not in the category and does not even come close to reaching the heights of toxicity that pay to win hits. This is extremely important. This isn't being pedantic or arguing semantics. This is simply how these environments work and why it needs to be pushed back against when it shows up. In a similar fashion, if you were to play a game like Diablo Immortal and you couldn't advance, level, or make any sensible progress without spending money, that's not pay to win. That's coercive pay to progress. It's very, very different. It motivates the player in a completely different way. The psychological manipulations hitting a different factor of your brain. Its motivation and its sunk cost is completely different. They're not even remotely the same. We have degrees of murder and manslaughter. Those distinctions are useful, says Zubair. We have degrees of pay too, and those distinctions are useful too. Exactly. Arguing semantics is my blanking job, says Zubair. Right, like, it's incredibly important to have distinctions. And the one-size-fits-all using the internet dirty word is so Twitter-esque. It feels like Twitter, right? Everything is hateful. Everything is super bad and worthy of being canceled. Like, everything is whatever dirty word you can come up with. That's why I bark back on it pretty harshly. Huge game publishers love it when gamers argue for them and defend bad game designs like this. Yes, that's a very charitable way to summarize everything that I've said. You are such a very, very good discourse sparring partner. I hope you can sense the dripping sarcasm. That is not what I'm doing at all. You should 100% call out when a game squeezes you to spend money. That is toxic. That is manipulative. I've been saying that. I'm like, when these practices show up, they should be criticized. You do a much better job criticizing for something for what it actually is, instead of just using whatever low-hanging, get you clicks on Reddit, get you retweets on Twitter, internet dirty word. Like, it's just easy clickism. That's all it is. That's all it is. Easy clickism. You're falling into very reductionist, minimalist thinking because that's what works on the internet. That's what gets you clicks. If I was to outline this on Reddit or Twitter, I wouldn't get a ton of clicks. Why? Because it doesn't work for like the internet monkey brain that wants to click like, retweet, yeah, drool on myself. They agree with me. Like that's what works on the internet. It's what works on YouTube. It's what works on Twitter. It's what works on Reddit. It's the absence of thought. That's why I push back on it. It's not thoughtful. It's easy clickism. That's what it's rooted in. Both pay to win and pay to play are crap systems, says Mr. Glum, and needs the community to step up to fight the injustice done against gamers. Any kind of transaction that gives any kind of power, progression, advantage, etc. is some form of pay to win, period. The only argument that can be made is which each individual person deems acceptable. No. Taking a bunch of things and looping it into one category is just an extremely underhanded way to argue. It's ineffective and not compelling. It's ineffective and not compelling at all. To take everything and loop it in, right? Any form of physical attack on a person is murder. Therefore, you just have to determine what levels of murder is acceptable. Like, you wouldn't do this in any other category. You're just lumping everything, just some big broad umbrella that, so you can wield pay to win like a sword, it's pay to win, And then if you always have to qualify it and you always have to clarify it, you're just being a bad communicator. And being a bad communicator is one of the leading causes, I think, of frustration and strife and unnecessary polarization and argumentation. There's just so much bad communication out there. I apologize for bringing up pay to win. It seems it has an annoying side effect. No, Galleon, it's totally fine. I actually think this is a very important discussion in light of what you said, Galleon. Because there is an enormous difference between pay to win in a game like this and pay to progress in Warframe. And those distinctions are really important, because if you call them all the same, then you're going to spend more time being like, well, what I really mean about pay to win in Diablo Immortal, it's not the same as the pay to win in Warframe. Well, how so? Well, Warframe's more like pay to progress, and Diablo Immortal's more like pay for power. Oh, so they're distinctly different in their execution, their identity, and what they offer. Then why don't you just use the different terms beforehand? What good does it do to use the nasty term on the outset? Why easy clickism? It's not about being accurate or precise. It's the absence of precision. Why? Because of the innate power and negativity of pay to win. You are lazily grabbing onto something that has power because you don't in the argument. The argument's weak. So you grab a term that has power in order to wield it in the argument. This chat isn't an echo chamber. I agree that calling all microtransactions in store systems pay to win is silly. I mean, anybody who would attempt to call our chat an echo chamber isn't reading chat, because I'm consistently getting disagreed with and interacting with those disagreements. An echo chamber would be removing all disagreement and everybody saying, yes, Lono, I agree. Yes, Lono, I agree. That is, quite honestly, the antithesis of what we do here. That's the antithesis of what we do here. We do not do that. Anybody calling chat an echo chamber is looking for an easy bow out because their argument isn't working or getting traction, or not everybody's cheering for their position. Like, that just reeks of insecurity. Like, oh, people are agreeing with streamer instead of me. This place is an echo chamber. Again, another internet colloquialistic dirty word that you're wielding because you think it has power because your argumentation lacks power. If I'm playing Final Fantasy and I'm playing regular and I can beat the campaign, but if I buy a map pack to get the best weapons in Harmony, then I could go to the campaign, that's paying to win as well. No, it's not. No. 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 Oh my gosh. I can't retread points I've already dealt with. I can't. I've already dealt with that. It's not. Plenty of games sell map packs and DLCs and expansions that come with good weapons, good gear, and things to help you on your way. That has never ever been called pay to win. You're hijacking a term and misusing it. Lono using those $50 words again. Can we get 200 likes on this stream, man? I'm out of breath. We need to get some likes. Give me some energy, chat. Give me some energy, chat. Everybody's saying, yes, I agree with you. We are only arguing semantics. Literally, it is semantics. It's not a bug. It's a feature. Right. Like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You're going to get way more traction. You're going to get way more traction criticizing a video game only because your hair is nice. Thank you. By the way, if you've never been here before and you haven't hit subscribe yet, or if you're watching on TikTok and you haven't hit follow yet, do those things so you don't miss my content. Also, on YouTube, if I'm not in your recommended feed like I typically am, make sure and check your subscription feed and make sure and check my channel. We stream every day. YouTube fiddled with some stuff, so sometimes I don't show up in your recommended feed. So make sure every day and check. I am a safe for work broadcaster. We do this video game radio talk show thing Monday through Friday. Being safe for work, people throw me on in the background like a podcast. So Rogue says, people saying echo chamber haven't been a part of this community very long. Thank you, Rogue. Some people work 12 hours a day and get 20 hours to play a game, so saving time is nice. Yo, what's good, CrossFit nerd? I won coffee. Does that mean I paid for it and then you made it? Oh, have we gotten any coffee orders? Let me check. Let me check here. No, I just got debated. You must have talked about another time. Hey, listen, chat. We don't have any new members today, and we don't have any coffee orders. Come on, let's get some. Let's get some. Reforge radio topic, Elon Musk buying Twitter. That's today's topic. I had time to research it, look at what's going on, look at the dialogue. I find the tears on Twitter to be so amazing. I hope he burns the platform to the ground. We're not talking about that now. We're not talking about that now. That's just a little bait. That's just a little sampling. I'll talk to you about that this afternoon on Reforge Radio. Bring your opinions and your thoughts, because, yeah, we're not talking about it right now. But that's this afternoon stream. Our second gaming talk show today. Our second gaming talk show today will be about Ubisoft and what is going on. Their stock was down. Now their stock is up. Are they being purchased? They have a new game coming out. Right now we are talking about Diablo Immortal gameplay. It is coming to PC. Galliant in chat said that there are elements of pay to win in the Diablo Immortal PvP. And we are discussing the differences between pay to win and pay to progress. It's tough for people. I know it's challenging, but we're discussing it, and we're asking people to vote in the poll. Diablo Immortal, will you be playing? 455 votes already, and it is almost split right down the middle. This is a free game, by the way, on iOS, Android, and PC. On June the 2nd, PC will feature cross-play and cross-progression, which is great for those who want to take their game with them when they're at work, on the go or whatever. Just bring your phone, iPad, or Android device, and you will be able to play and progress your character. Thank you for all the likes on TikTok and anybody who followed today. Appreciate you guys sending those likes and enjoying the live show. We can't be in echo chamber. Zubair and Eugene would disagree with you just for something to do. That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. We are about 1 hour into the show. We usually do these shows for about 2 hours or a little bit longer, so we're about halfway through the show. Curious what you guys think of the gameplay. If you're a fan of Diablo, one of my main concerns, if we kind of want to make this the topic, let's kind of shift away maybe from the circle that we ran in on pay to win. I'm concerned. This is a primary concern I have with Diablo Immortal, but I say it's a concern, but it's kind of not. No, we won't, says Zubair. We will not. We will not. Galliant, renewing that membership. First member of the day. Thank you so much for diving back into the members, Galliant. Guys, don't forget, as a member, we do a Thursday afternoon extra stream where you can ask me anything you want about gaming that I didn't cover throughout the week. So sometimes there's gaming stuff that we just avoid, or maybe we think it might be too controversial. We also do a Friday night stream with my wife where we, have some drinks and some laughs and play. And once a month we do community game night. You missed community game night this last week, and it was a friggin' blast. We played Fortnite, and it was so fun. I hadn't played in an age, and we had a blast. So, is it worth rewinding for? I'm biased, but I feel like I just absolutely decimated the opposition, but I don't know. It's not fair. I've had time to think through it and time to formulate the arguments because we've had it so many dadgum times. In any case, this is my concern for Diablo Immortal. Yo, Melrose Mike jumping back in with 16 months. Thank you for that membership. Appreciate that. Good morning, chat and Lono. Thank you, Melrose Mike. So this is my concern. And it is a concern, but it is not a concern at the same time, okay? So basically, given that this game is launching on mobile, there's only so much you can do with difficulty, okay? There's only so much you can do with difficulty. Because movement, speed of input is very limited on a mobile device. It's very limited on like an iPad or an iPhone, okay? So, given that reality, I think if you play this on PC, it's going to feel really, really easy. And if not, and they offer those upper echelons of difficulty, that won't be something that the mobile users will be able to enjoy. So it's a very delicate balance. They're going to have to be very, very careful with that, because I do think the level of intensity, enemy saturation, attack patterns, attack speed, all of that is going to be a challenge if the foundational game was built for mobile and their largest audience ends up on mobile. We'll see what ends up, shaking out. The mobile community is enormous, but the PC community is equally large and growing, okay? So, the reason I don't care is because I'm super casual. So I'm concerned mainly for game quality, longevity, end-game content loop, like what people will find satisfying, but I'm also not at all worried, or no, that's not how I want to say it. I'm concerned, but I don't care. Does that make sense? Those are like mutually exclusive statements, Lono. Like, I'm concerned for the sake of the game's quality and those who might play it, looking for that in a way with how Diablo works. And how Diablo's community typically likes to see us scaling, difficulty and making things harder and harder and harder. But at the same time, I don't care, because I'm like super casual, right? Super casual. I hope the mobile crowd just spends and spends and spends. Why is that? Just to make the pay-to-win people salty? I'm sorry, Eugene's like, I just want to watch the world burn. Like, just let it all come undone. Lono, do I need to repost my long message, or do you prefer not to talk about that particular line of the convo? I don't want to repost if you intentionally look past. I think it's a pretty good point. Hang on. Doesn't further give credit to my point. Lost Ark recently released, which was at the end of development for Immortal. Hang on. I can't find it. Oh, here it is. 2 out of 2. Lono, my thing is, if they ultimately knew they were going to release it to PC, could they have curried so much favorite had they said so from the beginning? I wonder if Lost Ark, with its form of microtransactions coming to the West and being very successful, emboldened them to feel that they could release this on PC, even if the mobile-style microtransactions. Okay, yeah, no. This is a good question. Here's why your suggestion is, on the surface, interesting, but fundamentally unlikely, and let me explain why. Bringing this to PC could not have been a couple of months ago decision. I don't think so. Knowing what we know about ports and developments, I'm having my doubts that they were like, hey man, Lost Ark's been super successful in the West. Look at the success of their microtransactions. We should do the same, right? I find that to be unlikely. I think it's an interesting observation, but given what we know about development cycles, that's not enough time. Like, Lost Ark launched 2 months ago. That's nothing in the development world, especially for Blizzard Activision and all they've been going through. I would have imagined that they started working on this a long time ago. Given the reception, I'll say it another way. Given the reception that they got when they said it was mobile only and how well it was being praised by people in the beta, I wouldn't be surprised if the number one piece of feedback from the beta was, my gosh, this is great. I wish I could play it on PC. And they were like, well, for frick's sake, right? We better put it on PC. If I'm putting chips on the table of what's the more likely motivator, it's that. It's the feedback that they got. The consistent feedback they got from testing, the consistent feedback they got from people, when they made their announcement, right? Hearthstone is the reason why Blizzard will be putting it on PC. I don't know about that. Fuzzy says that is exactly what the devs said. Oh, what did the devs say, Fuzzy? That they got consistent feedback in the demo? Fair Point says Distorted. I have no idea how long it takes to port a mobile game to PC, but they could have already had progress toward it and decided to move forward with Lost Ark's success. Hard to tell. The testers loved the game and just kept asking for it to be on PC. Okay, so I'm not bad at reading tea leaves here. I didn't know that was a thing. I haven't not been reading up on this game at all. And the reason that I wasn't reading up on it was every time I heard the feedback that it was really great and they loved it, and it just added to my frustration. I was like, well, that's great because I don't want to play this game on my mobile. So I was actively ignoring coverage of Diablo Immortal because I was like, I don't care that it's good. I don't want to play Diablo on my iPhone. You know what's funny? This is funny. Chime in if you agree, all right? Chime in if you agree with this. If this game would have released mobile only, I wouldn't have wanted to play it, and I wouldn't have wanted to play it on my mobile device. But if I can play it on my PC, I'll play it on my mobile device. Does that make sense? like, you see what I'm saying? I'll actually play it on my mobile device because I'll play it on my mobile device. Why? I'll play it on my mobile device because I can play it on my PC. They're gonna get, that's what's funny. They're actually gonna get more people to play on mobile because I can play on PC. Do you see what you've done, Blizzard? You made a good decision in light of consumer feedback. Like, when the frick? I'm not gonna play a dadgum game on my mobile. Who wants to play Diablo on mobile? Oh, well, you can play on PC and there's cross progression. Oh, really? Okay, hang on. Let me boot it up on my mobile. Well, I guess I better have a look. Vengeance with the $10 tip. For the low price of $5 per month, you too can sport this dope badge, emotes, and special streams just for members. And you too can stand with Mo. Thank you for the thank you for the $10 tip through YouTube Super Chat, Vengeance. Yeah, we haven't got we don't have any new members. We had some renewals, so thank you to the renewed members. Let's get some new members. Exactly, says Arch Enigma. That's the only way I would play this on mobile. Waiting around, might as well grind. That's how it hooks me. People are saying, yes, total sense. I agree, says Vargas. Donovan says, I agree. Makes perfect sense, no cap. I'm the same, says Distorted. They knew people would just end up torrenting it, says Smooth Jazz. It's likely. That's likely. Should have asked the pay-to-win folks if they were Game Pass subscribers. Shut up, Eugene. I think the fact that they feel comfortable bringing it to PC shows it has enough quality to be worth downloading even on mobile, at least for some people. Yeah, maybe. That's not a bad point, Distorted. Like, somebody would say, well, it must be pretty good if they can bring it to PC. It must be a really good game on mobile if it can actually come to PC and be worth playing. For sure. Being on PC means that I will play it on my phone, says Corey. I'm so mad cross progression was not added to Diablo 3. Diablo 2 Resurrection has it. I played Diablo 3 on PC and Switch, but separate accounts. I'd kill to merge them. Right, being able to like get some progress done on your Switch while you're out and about. Oh, for sure. Can we get Colin so I can call in and yell at Eugene? No. Competing with Lost Ark? Maybe. They're very different games, though. Lost Ark's an MMORPG. This is an MMOARPG, which means I think it's going to be a little bit more casual and action-oriented. Now, that doesn't mean the PvP won't get pretty hardcore. You know, I think the PvP could get pretty hardcore. At the same time, there are plenty of mobile games ported to PC that aren't any better for it, says Robert. Yeah, it's not a guarantee, that's for sure. It certainly is not a guarantee. How's Lost Ark doing? Last I checked, it was doing fine. Let's look at the Lost Ark Steam charts. In the past 24 hours, they hit 500,000 players. There are currently 500,000 players right now. So I would say healthy AF. They must have done a pretty big update back on February 11th. They must have done a big update because they spiked up from 400 and 500 player peaks to over 1 million. So they hit over 1 million players. Oh, they hit an all-time new peak on February the 11th, 1.3 million players. And now they've settled back down. They're freaking crushing it. They are freaking crushing it. Golly, dadgummit, I wish we could have really done something with that freaking game. It just, I don't have time, chat. I was talking about with my wife last night. I was like, I am live so much during the day. Like, it doesn't leave time for anything. You know what I mean? That's why we're pushing memberships so much. It's like, man, live streamers, you got to have a growing member base. You just must. Because I burn so much daylight being live. I can't play games like that. I can't grind. I can't do all those things. I can't do uploads, you know? I can't randomly cover Elon Musk buying Twitter. That's what I said. They're different teams. Well, no, duh, but the teams talk. If they needed some time, this is the way they do it. However, the beta tester said, please put this on PC too. Yeah, fundamentally, Butters, I don't see any evidence to have any concern, connection, or worry between Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal. I don't see them touching each other in any substantive ways, other than, like you're saying, teams talking. But again, I don't see. I see them as being very different games, very different crowds and audience members. I think most of the people playing Diablo Immortal on PC are going to be waiting for 4, and the people that play on mobile, I bet you a huge portion of them aren't interested in 4 at all. They just want a great game on their mobile device. The mobile gaming audience is so dadgum huge. Diablo 3 had cross progression for PC and consoles, Fuzzy, but the PC modding community darn near broke the game on console by dropping created or modded gear in console, says Corey. Stream all day, play all night, sleep when you're dead. I can't do that. I literally can't do that. I'm married with 2 children. That's impossible. I don't think Diablo 4 development was affected negatively in any way, nor slowed down by anything to do with Immortal and its development or release. Yeah, again, when the teams are that separate, that kind of speculation just doesn't get us anywhere. If 4 is delayed, this will buy a few months. That's what all I'm saying. Oh, I mean, yeah. Okay, so that's not a bad observation if you come at it from that angle. If you come at it from the angle of this could actually soften the blow on this could soften the blow of a delay if they have to do another one. I'll agree with that 100%. I got no problem agreeing with that. YouTube seems to have maybe straightened some stuff out. If you found us today through YouTube search or YouTube suggest, thanks for stopping by. We cover variety gaming news all throughout the week. It's in a talk show format just like this. We enjoy you supporting us. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the bell button checked. Make sure you smash the like button. Same thing over there on TikTok. We're not getting traction on TikTok yet. Thank you. Somebody's given me a mic over there. Thank you for whoever did that over there on the talk. We appreciate that very, very much. I can't see anything other than when it exactly happens. We got to figure out how to fix that. Found you through the Noti Gang. Thank you, Immortal Turtle. Just remember, if I'm ever not in your recommended feed on YouTube, check your subscription list of channels you're subscribed to, and then check my channel. We're live. We do 2 talk shows a day a lot of the times, Monday through Friday, and we are safe for work, so you can subscribe in confidence and be here all throughout the week. It's like video game radio. Somebody on TikTok needs to give him a badger. It'll just take time probably over on TikTok. I think you have to have a consistent schedule before they start really shoving you in front of other people. Because I've seen people with only a couple thousand followers over there just crushing it. And so, it just takes time. It just takes time. Yesterday we had anywhere from 12 to 18 people the whole time, and now we've just continued to fall. So I'm not sure exactly what the strategy is over there. So games like Lost Ark and Diablo, I plan on playing over the course of the years, so grind doesn't bother me. Neither does slow progress, says Corey. Most people think of games in terms of hours, days, or weeks. Okay, so the only reason that commonly gets said, Corey, I've had people say that before. They're like, I don't care if the grind is unusually slow. I don't care if the grind is, unusually long and drawn out, all right? The reason that I don't think that's an adequate comeback sometimes is because I believe you can stretch the rubber band so far that it just snaps, right? So if you're playing for a couple of hours and you make what feels like virtually no progress, you can't always celebrate that as a positive. Well, that means I've got so much to do. I'll be able to play this game for forever. I believe you can stretch it so far that the rubber band snaps and breaks, right? MRI guy was 6 months. Love the back and forth and discussion, even with the huge differing opinions. Keep it up, man. MRI guy, I got to tell you, people that are willing to jump in the ring and disagree that sharply with me, I enjoy it. I really do. I think it says a lot about a person when they're willing just to, stick to their guns, right? And I do my best to attack the argument, you know what I mean? And that's why you can never call our community an echo chamber, because there are some people that will literally put the gloves on and go 9 rounds and just keep fighting and arguing, right? I sent 84 likes on TikTok. Thank you, Sven. I appreciate that. Yeah, we have 8,000 likes over there. Some people are over there just literally nonstop sending likes. It's insane. They're just tapping the screen like a madman. So, yeah, I hear where you're coming from, Corey, and I do think that's an adequate comeback sometimes. I'm okay with things taking a really long time. That means I'll always have something to do. Yes and no. Yes and no. This gameplay looks more interesting to me than the other Diablos I've seen, but it's still isometric. That is a barrier. It's almost like when we talk about third-person shooters. So as you're sitting here watching this Diablo Immortal gameplay, and you're thinking through, would I play this game? Is this something that I would enjoy, right? My new favorite clicker game, the numbers go up, says Reckless Gambit. Thank you. It's kind of like when people see a third-person shooter, and they just can't do it, right? They see a Division, or they see a Gears of War, or they see a whatever, and they're like, nah, man, nah, I can't do it. I cannot play that. I won't enjoy it. It's not my style of game. I think isometric games have a similar effect on people. They do. Interestingly enough, I think the more showy they are like this, the more action-oriented they are, the better they do for watchability on YouTube. That's not really a factor for the average gamer. The average gamer doesn't care about that. But I actually have to think about that, I have to think about those elements. Is it watchable? Is it streamable? Is it something that people are going to want to watch for long periods of time? And I felt like Lost Ark delivered that. Unfortunately, for us, Lost Ark's an impossibility on YouTube because YouTube, Amazon funneled all the viewership to the purple platform, funneled it all over there. And it made it impossible. Now you can get it back and talk like the rest of us. Oh, okay, that guy probably replied. Oh, shoot, I don't have my phone on me. Is it an under? Yeah, there we go. View tweets. Guaranteed. Okay. Why can't I hide? Do I have to click on it to do that? Oh, there we go. Okay. Biggest problem I see... Sorry about the little break there. I try not to have radio silence ever on the channel. Let's see here. Biggest problem I see with Diablo Immortal appears to be the loot. Synergy looks basic, and in comparison to Diablo 3, very weak in terms of array of perks. Right, when they show the UI, Hilly, I wonder how much is hidden because of... I wonder how much is hidden because of the mobile. Everything you can buy in the Diablo cash shop. Do you guys want to take a look at this? Let's take a look at this. Let's add some meat to the bones. We've looked at the gameplay looped enough. Let's look at this Blizzard thing. BlizzardWatch.com has a everything you can buy in the Diablo Immortal cash shop. Let's take a look at this. I'm gonna have to drag myself to the other side, and I'm gonna read it for those of you that are on TikTok. Diablo Immortal's free-to-play model includes microtransactions through an in-game cash shop for those who wish to get a leg up in their progress, and for Blizzard to make some money, of course. This game is currently in closed beta, but the shop is already open, selling in-game currencies, boosts to Rift rewards, armor bonus rerolls, and 2 different monthly services, as well as a free daily reward. Let's take a look at everything you can buy in the Diablo Immortal cash shop. Eternal Orbs. The first 2 shop currencies, the first of 2 shop currencies, Eternal Orbs, are used to buy other items in the shop. You can use them to purchase crests, a consumable that increases Elder Rift rewards, rank up your battle pass, see below, or convert them into other currency platinums. Oh, I was like, what popped up? Stupid virus detection popped up. Platinum is the other currency, is used to craft legendary gems, extract skill stones from charms, a slot item with a class bonus, and buy items on the market, a limited in-game auction house. The only items available for buying and selling on the market are normal and legendary gems and skill stones. Cost 50 Eternal Orbs for 500 Platinum, with no bonus for larger purchases. You can also earn Platinum in-game, so you don't need to buy it with Eternal Orbs. Crests. Crests are consumables used to boost the rewards you receive from running Elder Rifts. They're the primary source of legendary gem drops, as well as random runes, which are needed to create legendary gems and fading embers, which can be used to buy specific runes. Crests also add random modifiers to your run, both good and bad, affecting both players and monsters. Modifiers may include player run speed increase, more shrines, or random lava pools appearing under the player, damaging them over time. Crests come in 2 versions, rare and legendary. The rare crest costs 30 Eternal Orbs each, add 1 modifier, and guarantees 3 random rune rewards and 1 fading ember. Legendary crest costs 160 Eternal Orbs, add 2 modifiers, and guarantees the same rewards as rare crests plus a guaranteed legendary gem. While legendary gems have a chance to drop in Elder Rifts, legendary crests are the only way you can guarantee to be rewarded 1 upon killing the Rift Guardian. Up to 3 crests can be added to an Elder Rift run to stack their reward modifiers. Cost 30 Eternal Orbs for rare crests, 160 Eternal Orbs for legendary. These crests come from many sources in the game, not just the shop. Okay, these crests come from many sources in the game, not just the shop. So the question is, how often can you get these crests, right? Can you get these crests enough to say, I don't have to spend money, or are you going to constantly feel that pull of I can't get the crests. It's making my runs very, very futile, right? Reforge Stones. Hey, that's a good name. Reforge Gaming is what you're watching right now. Reforge Stones can re-roll your equipment bonuses and are available for 100 Eternal Orbs each. Equipment bonuses fall into one of 6 categories, and each can only be re-rolled within the stone from the same category. Additionally, the bonus will be re-rolled into a new one from the same category. Additionally, the bonus will be re-rolled into a new one from the same category. I think I just reread that, I'm sorry. For example, if you have the primary attack damage increase 4% bonus on your gloves, that is a wildfire family attribute. So you would have to use a wildfire stone to re-roll it into a new wildfire bonus from the list of 5 others in that family. Categories generally fall into groups of similar abilities such as defense, offense, health increases, etc. Costs 100 Eternal Orbs. Empowered Battle Pass. Similar to many other free-to-play games, such as Hearthstone, Diablo Immortal offers a free monthly reward track that grants you rewards as you rank up through the system via battle points. These points are gained by completing different activities within the game, such as completing rifts, dungeons, or bounties. While battle points are the primary way of ranking up your battle pass, you can also spend Eternal Orbs to advance to the next rank. Rewards at each rank can include equipment, upgrade materials, crest, legendary gems, legendary equipment, reforged stones, and a reward currency called hilts. For $5 a month, you can purchase an empowered battle pass in the shop. This unlocks extra rewards for each rank that are significantly better, such as more gems, legendary gems, rare crests, and legendary crests. There are also rewards not available on the free track, including keys to a special dungeon chest, scoria, which is used to unlock boss fights in the endgame, and special chat emotes. The empowered battle pass also unlocks extra quests to grant battle points not available to those only on the free track. Jiminy frickin' Christmas. Microtransactions from head to toe here. You only need to unlock the Empowered Battle Pass once on your account for all characters to have access to it. However, each character must progress through it on their own, as each Battle Pass gains are not account-wide, or note account-wide. This is good news, as each character can reap the rewards of the ranks they unlock, with one exception. Certain high-value rewards can only be claimed once per account, not once per character, and those are clearly marked as such in the Battle Pass window. This is actually the more clear part of the dadgum microtransactions. It's a free Battle Pass. $5 a month gets you the paid track, and you get more stuff on the paid track. So that's the easiest part of this to understand. That's the easiest part of this to understand. The rest of the things I already read, I'm extremely confused. Boon of Plenty, another shop item charging $5 a month. The Boon of Plenty includes 300 Eternal Orbs, extra trade slots at the market, an extra stash tab, and 1 rare crest claimable daily. Though spending $5 would get you 315 Eternal Orbs, if you want to be spending cash, this is probably still a good deal for the other extras. But note that if you choose not to renew when it expires in 30 days, you will lose your extra market trade slots as well as your extra stash tab. We just went from I'm not playing to you would have to pay me to play. I will pay all this without blinking, says Distorted. This is more confusing than Monster Hunter. They're skating on the thin line of free to play. Yeah, it's free to play, but for $10 a month. I mean, we have to remember something. Like, let's not be too judgmental, okay? Let's just think in perspective here. It's an MMO ARPG with no subscription fee. They do something similar in ESO. That's an MMO RPG with no subscription fee. And people spend, what is it, $10 or $15 a month for ESO, and they get an allotment of crowns, they get the crafting bag, they get all that stuff, right? So if you consider that in the grand scheme of things, the Battle Pass is $5 a month, and the Boon of Plenty is $5 a month. So for $10 a month, you basically get everything you could probably need, and then all the additional stuff we already read may fall away if you do that, right? I'm not defending it. I'm simply giving perspective on an MMORPG not having a subscription fee. Where's the money coming from for the massive monsoon of players that will come in? Server maintenance, updates, patches, hot fixes, quality of life, all that. What's good, M. Baker? Good to see you over there on TikTok. Free daily reward. There's a free daily reward for all players. It can be claimed once a day to gain the full benefit. At the beginning, the grants 1 of 4 random rewards, gold, coins, or normal, rare, or legendary upgrade materials. As you level up, the quality of the rewards will increase. Okay, so we're finally at the bottom. Forgotten Tower Trove. One-time cash offers will unlock as you progress through the game. For example, after you complete the Forgotten Tower storyline, you can buy the Forgotten Tower Trove. For $1, you'll get 60 Eternal Orbs, 1 Legendary Crest, 2 Rare Crests, 6 random gems, and a partridge in a pear tree. That's about a $5 US value for $1. If you choose not to buy it when first offered, it will remain available in the shop. That's everything available in the cash shop at the moment in Diablo Immortal Closed Beta. We'll update this guide as the items and prices change, so check back if you are curious about what all is available in the shop. Okay, so the two things for $5 a month. The two things for $5 a month sounds reasonable. This is the section that I don't like. I never like this. I am never a fan of this frickin' nonsense of like $25 gets you 1650 Jimmy Bobs, and these Jimmy Bobs can be put into a bucket, and when you put it in the bucket, it converts them into dovetails, and you take those dovetails and you wipe Deckard Cain's butt with them. No, it's like, come on, man, you know? Stay a while and listen. The Eternal Orbs are used to help you defeat Diablo when you go into the underworld. Mephisto is one of the worst men in the... Buy all these Jimmy Bobs, man. It's like... Okay, so there's Eternal Orbs and Platinum. There's Eternal Orbs... Oh, Jimmy Page wants a cut of the Jimmy Bobs. So Eternal Orbs are used to buy other items in the shop. It's $1 for 60, $100 for 7,200. Platinum is used to craft legendary gems. This is, I think, the thing that Galliant was talking about. Platinum is used to craft legendary gems, extract skill stones from charms, and buy items on the market. A limited in-game auction house. Ooh, boy. They're going to do an auction house? Jeepers freaking creepers. The only items available for buying and selling on the market are normal and legendary gems and skill stones. Okay, so that's all that can be auctioned. Normal and legendary gems and skill stones. 50 Eternal Orbs for 500 Platinum, with no bonus for larger purchases. You can also earn Platinum in-game. So you can use one currency to buy another or just earn the Platinum in-game. You have to use orbs to unlock Cain's voice. Free to play. He remains voiceless. That's right. And then the crests are the consumables that boost rewards when you're running an Elder Rift. There's rare and legendary crests. Gee, frick. So 30... One rare is 30, and then the legendary is 160. And the 160 legendary crest gives a guaranteed drop of a legendary gem. It guarantees the same rewards as the rare crest, plus a guaranteed legendary gem. So the legendary crest gives you a guaranteed legendary gem, and the legend... Okay, so that's 160 Eternal Orbs. 160 Eternal Orbs is basically $3. No wonder Blizzard delayed this after BlizzCon announcement. This would have been boycotted into oblivion. Well, here's the fundamental question, okay? But before we get gung ho and shoot this down in a blaze of glory, right? The real question is, will the base game and the core game be totally fine with you spending exactly $0? Right? This is what I feel like most people are going to do. They're going to ignore this right here. Do you want to know why? Because this right here is again, it's the doohickey Jimmy Bob, you know, nobody wants to do this. Now, whales certainly do. This is going to be great for whales. This is going to be great for people that, you know, want literally everything, okay? So, ignore this. I think most people who play the free version of the game are going to do this. The Empowered Battle Pass for $5 a month, and potentially the Boon of Plenty for $5 a month. If you're playing like crazy and you're really putting a lot of time in, then you're going to do these two things. $10 a month to give you everything you could possibly need to enhance your experience, right? It's the other stuff. It's when they do, like I said, when they do the doohickeys and the Jim Bobs, and they add this and they add that, right? Already over 1,000 likes on the channel. Nice. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. You guys are going crazy over there on TikTok. Hopefully we can start to see a larger audience show up and get more, get some new folks in there talking to us, Just make 2, one in-game and one that you can buy. Galliant says, the legendary crests are the pay-to-win part. Guaranteed legendary gem. Use the crappy gems to upgrade the good gems. Right, so at what point when you're playing through Diablo Immortal, at what point in the normal play are you going to feel that need to spend money? Are you going to have this sense of, I can't advance, I can't get the crest? The legendary crests are basically 160 of the gems or whatever. That's basically $3. How long does it take me to get... Well, wait, no, you can't... Oh, no. No, it's not the orbs that you're... No. It's the crests. Legendary crest, where does it say that? It said that they're earnable in the game, did it not? Hang on, let me find it. How often do they drop? Or did I misread? Am I misremembering? These crests come from many sources in the game, not just the shop. So, at what interval can I organically earn and get a legendary crest? Right? At what interval is that happening? That's the question. Quick question. Do you put 3 topics on Discord for the day and choose the best 2 to stream? No, the goal, Sax Boy, is to start doing 2 talk shows and gameplay. That's the goal. Is probably the days will start looking like a 2-2-1. 2 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. We want to start bringing some gameplay to the stream, even if it's something small and sort of indie. We want to have that opportunity to do that and to frequently have just good gameplay. It also allows me to plug away at Dark Souls. It also allows me to plug away at Elden Ring if we have like 2 topics that just don't go anywhere, or one topic. Like Elden Ring is largely going to land on Mondays because there's almost never enough news to do 2 talk shows on Monday. The news always dries up over the weekend, basically. Everything hits for Friday news coverage, and then the weekend hits, and we usually pick whatever we think was the best and hottest thing to recap Monday morning. So, if you're new and you're just tuning in, we've been looking at Diablo Immortal gameplay. Now we're discussing the Diablo Immortal shop. We took a look at the actual items that can be purchased and all the different things. We took a look here at what you can do with these orbs, what you can do with platinum. We were watching the gameplay pretty consistently here. Game Informer's got a great video that we used, most of the morning, just taking a look at what the gameplay looks like, as well as just talking about the different aspects of the game, and now sort of having a discussion about the concerns of the microtransactions. They don't drop, says Galliant. You can buy 1 a week with Hilt, which is earned in game. Oh, so they do not drop. You can buy 1 a week. This is where Joss Strife Hayes would say, if you can't earn it in game, if there's an unlimited amount of purchases available. This is how he defined pay to win. If I can buy something one time, like the battle pass, or that other thing that we looked at, the boon of plenty, he wouldn't classify that as pay to win per se, because you can't buy it infinitely. Everybody can buy it once and you're all on a level playing field. When you can buy something infinitely, you can basically continue to surpass the other people, right? You can get more, and that's where the pay to win element comes in. That was kind of how he outlined it in his video. Now, he would probably say there are times where you can buy something one time, anybody can buy it one time, and it's considered pay to win. It's not always that simple, right? While you were live, Nibbleton on Twitter said that the devs reported that Sony requires their devs to make a 2-hour demo for games over $39 for their XGP. Requires sounds like forcing to me. devs reported that Sony requires that the devs have to make a 2-hour demo for games over $39.99. With regard to what? What are you talking about? Are you talking about when Sony's service lets you demo games coming up? That new thing that they're going to be doing? If you've not smacked like on today's video, go ahead and smack that like button on YouTube. That'll really help the video continue to show up in people's feeds that are interested in Diablo Immortal. Let's set our sights on 300 likes. We only need about 40 more likes to get that. There's plenty of people here who have not smashed that like button. Everybody smashing like on TikTok. Thanks for doing that. You guys are nuts. Sounds to me like Sony gets a lot of refunds and is sick of it. Maybe. They don't really have a good refund funnel. How do you get a refund? How do you get a refund on the Sony platform? How do you do that? I don't know. I bought games over there, played them once for stream, and never went back to them because I didn't like them or they weren't my cup of tea. I've never even considered or thought that I could go and get a refund. Without whales, the free-to-play games will die. Yo, what's good, Nathan Sonian? According to a game, here's the tweet. Bless me. Okay, according to the tweet, it says here, according to game developer sources, Sony is requiring devs to offer timed game trials for PlayStation Plus premium subscribers for games that cost more than $34. Must be 2 hours long. Devs have up to 3 months' time to offer a timed trial. The change is not retroactive. Okay. Yeah, that's related to the PS Plus thing, not like any old game. They're not requiring everybody to create a demo. It's for the actual Plus thing that they're doing. Seems different to me. Sony gives you a one-time return, no questions asked, but after that one time, no refunds, no questions asked. Here's another press briefing about it. The new time trials must be available to PS Plus premium subscribers for at least 12 months according to the report. Keep in mind that these are not a replacement for normal demos. Devs are still free to release demo, free weekends, etc. for everybody. Right, so this is strictly if you want your game demoed and featured on PS Plus. You have to make it be 2 hours long minimum, and it has to be available for a year. If a game is incredibly broken, such as No Man's Sky when it came out, you cannot get a refund. Well, No Man's Sky wasn't broken. How do you like a vid? I don't see a heart. You just double tap the screen, Denver, on TikTok. You just tap. You can just tap like crazy, and it'll just put little hearts, and they all go flying up to the top. That shirt is dope. Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you guys like my shirt, if anybody on TikTok or YouTube likes my shirt, it's a nice big giant print. It's a DC Comics shirt from 80s Tees. It's from their DC collection. You can go to 80stees.com. Always remember to use code LONO if you shop at 80stees.com. It'll get you 30% off. Just make sure you use my code. I think people were going over and using the email. You could put in your email and get a 30% off. So please do me a favor and do that if you're follow, manage, block, mute, report. Okay, cool. Cancel. I had to give myself moderation tools on TikTok for my separate account. Definitely going to play Diablo Immortal, says Geek to Sneak. I'm currently playing the Torchlight beta. Torchlight beta? Is there a new Torchlight coming out? We've got 629 votes in the YouTube poll, the YouTube chat, and it says Diablo Immortal, will you be playing, yes or no, 55 to 45. I don't think I can start as a moderator. I don't think I can start a poll. Only host can select specific questions. To moderate questions, tap the 3 dots. Remove, report, mute, block. Yeah, so I can moderate the questions you submit, but I can't show them, unfortunately. I'd have to be... My phone is up mounted on a tripod, so you guys get a really good angle and a good camera, and so I can't do anything as the host. I could go around and do it, but that would be really disruptive to the stream. I forgot to buy more He-Man shirts. I forgot about the new Torchlight. Yes, Torchlight Infinite. Oh, it's mobile. Bleh. I want to change my vote on the poll after a quick look at the cash shop, says Hilly. Here's how I look at it, Hilly. Here's how I look at it. I definitely immediately get nauseous when I see a cash shop like that. I'm like, get out of here. Like, what the frick is all of this? But at the same time, I do think it's incredibly important to just try the game before I make up my mind, right? Because if I play it, for a month, then I'll know if it's pay to win. I'll know if it's bad. I'll know if it's like, okay, is the cash shop a problem? Is the cash shop disrupting the game flow? Is the cash shop motivating me to spend money? I think all these things are very, very important, because I could play for a month and never encounter a single snag or a single problem and not spend a dime. I think the only thing you're risking at that point is your time, right? That's the only thing you're risking. You are risking your time. You could play Diablo Immortal and have a blast, play it for a month and be like, yeah, it's totally fine. Not a big deal at all. Or you could play it for a week and be like, dude, this cash shop, this limited stuff, these limited drops, all they want me to do, right? All they want me to do is do this stupid microtransactions, right? And when that happens, you've spent time. And you can just stop playing and uninstall. I'm not defending their cash shop. I'm saying it isn't automatically a threat to the enjoyment and the quality of the game. It's not automatic. We cannot just assume that it's going to be bad. I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should just automatically assume that, yep, going to be bad. They're gonna screw us, and it's gonna be unenjoyable and bad. In practice, the shop is pretty tame compared to even Lost Ark. There you go, Haley. It's not as bad as Lost Ark. That's the endorsement we're getting. That's the endorsement. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as Lost Ark, Haley. So it's great. It's truly a 5 out of 5 game then, from Hilly's perspective. Hilly calls that everything with a cash shop a gacha game. So, I mean, Oh, gosh. He's like, is there a cash shop? Yes. Can I buy things? Yes. It's a gacha game. It's a gacha game. I remember the day we debated that. Wheezy was like, I think it was Wheezy. It might have been me wishing Wheezy was here. I can't remember. Just being like, bro, that's not what a gacha game is. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Like when those old ladies are doing Facebook on their wall. That's not how any of this works. It is gacha? No, you need to look up the definition of gacha and look at gacha games. You're saying something that it is genuinely nonsensical. It's just nonsensical. Like, you're worse than the people saying pay to win. Like, there's the people that say Lost Ark's pay to win, and then there's you. And then there's you calling it a gacha game. Okay? There's a dramatic difference between the two. And I'll let you try and figure out which one's dumber. It might take you a while. Given that you think it's a gacha game, it might take you a while. Every once in a while, I feel like Hilly just wants to watch the world burn. Gacha game. Even misspelling it. A video game that bombards you with microtransactions, usually free to play. Yeah, you're making up your own terms now. You're making up your own terms. It's not even spelled that way. It's not it's not a gotcha. Like, gotcha. It's a gotcha game. Oh, golly. Hilly, it's too early in the week to be drinking, man. You gotta wait for Friday night and clumsily play Fortnite with us and leave after 2 games. You have to play with us every week at least for 5 minutes. Be like, all right, I'm going to bed. Oh, that's good. That's good. Gotcha. I gotcha. Gotta catch them all. Gotta gotcha. Gotta gotcha them all. No, that doesn't work. Sorry. I stand with Illy. Yeah, you would, Mo. A gacha game is a video game that implements the gacha toy vending machine mechanic. Womp womp. Etymological studies of words is so frustrating to people who misuse those words. It's so hard, you know? When you do an actual definition analysis and an etymological study of the word and its origins, it becomes extremely difficult to say stupid things. Oh, man. If you guys are enjoying the show, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We don't have 300 likes yet. Let's get those 300 likes. We'll be shifting to a second show here in a little bit. We'll be shifting to a second show here in a little bit about Ubisoft. What's going on over there? Their stock value dropped. Now it's back up. Are they selling? They're launching a new game. What in the what? Maybe Sony's going to buy them. What does that mean for Assassin's Creed Infinity and all the other live service games they're working on? When I hear gacha game, that's what I think too. Yeah. It's actually based on a toy vending machine. Like that's literally what the name comes from. I've retired, says Hilly. Gacha games eventually have to lead to an intervention. I'm going through it with my friend of mine who's bragging about dropping 600 quid the other day on Genshin. Oof. Ubi is French. You think, well, save it, Eugene. Don't get ahead of us. Don't. Yeah, you wonder how easily? Yeah. Let's not cannibalize the next show. I was just whetting everybody's appetite. Ooh, it's right there. Oh, there it was. Well, that was a good neck pop. The only thing you really need groups for is raids and some veteran dungeons. That's it. And what? What game are y'all talking about? I'm trying to pop my ankle. I do a neck pop and then I usually pop my ankle off of. Hey, Deaf-Sided sent me 2 mics over there. 2 little gold mics over there on TikTok, man. Thank you for doing that, Deaf-Side. Thank you, everybody who's been supporting the efforts on TikTok. Mr. Glum upgraded his YouTube membership to Tier 2. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself. No new members? I'll just upgrade my member tier. I appreciate that very, very much. Oh, you're talking about ESO. Yeah. Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online is a really, really, really good MMORPG. From everything I've read, researched, and studied, they treat their community really well. Their community really, really supports the game. They're cool with the monthly thing and the crown store and the crafting bag. They're cool with all of it. You've sparked my appetite. I would like to order a reverse sear steak, please. I'm sorry, we don't have a membership tier that comes with a reverse sear steak. That's not a thing, you know. It's not a thing. Hilly, do you play Lost Ark? No, he didn't play. He might have played for a little bit and then put it down. I don't know if he touched it. I don't know if he ever touched it. I used to love those. Yeah, with the plastic bubbles. Yeah, Eugene says it's quite literally the plastic ball machine in game form. You're buying something, you don't know what, in the hopes it's something that you want. Yep. Yo, Luis Castillo coming in with 3 months. Lono, love the show. Appreciate the hard work. Thank you, man. Hey, man, you guys missed community game night. If you're not a member, I got to play with Luis. We were having some laughs, man. It was fun. You get to really see another side of me. You really should if you can, because we were talking in the Discord. We jumped on comms to play some Fortnite. If you can do a membership, man, we'd love to see Friday nights continue to grow into something really, really fun. We don't take away content from the channel. We do not do that. This is extra content that we do Thursday afternoons and Friday nights. Isn't that the definition of a loot box? Well, yes and no, Dave. Loot boxes are not necessarily gacha, and gacha's not necessarily a loot box. There's elements to gacha that's designed to capitalize on a player's. They stop you from getting things and progressing. There's items that the people that are more familiar with the games might help me out, like what Genshin Impact does. You're basically passively coerced towards purchasing them. It's not as simple as, oh, do you want a pretty hat for your character? And it's also not as simple as just being like a loot box. It's a lot more sinister than that, from anything I've ever read. Fortnite was fun. The bots were a little OP, though. Yeah. There's overlap, but they're not the same. Yeah, it's kind of like a Venn diagram. The way that the two overlap, for sure. Would Overwatch be loot boxes and Genshin be gacha? Yeah, pretty much that's the dividing line I think that you would have. Good day, Lono chat. What have I missed? Yo, it's good, Toshibo. We covered Diablo Immortal gameplay. We showed off the gameplay, talked about the PC release. We looked at the items you could buy, talked about pay to win, talked about pay to progress. Yo, Jimmy Page with 5 months of membership over here on YouTube. Reforge Gaming. So pumped for your growth. Content is stellar. Thank you very, very much. It seems on the back end we're seeing good things. We're actually showing up in suggest and search today, which, funny enough, we got that feature yesterday. So I think Creature came up with a really good theory, and we're seeing it sort of proven today. We're seeing it proven today. Good man. How's recording going? Loot boxes generally trend towards cosmetics only. Gacha has actual game mechanics and OP items, characters in the lotto. Yeah, you feel almost like you need it. And again, I thought one of the elements of Genshin Impact was that they like stopped you from progressing. That's like how you... That's how, you know what I mean? That's how they get you. You feel like you can't progress unless you spend money. You know? You were on my YouTube front page today. Granted, you always do, but that's a good sign, right? Wait, am I always on your front page? I had a couple people say that yesterday and today, and on the back end, this video is showing up in search results and suggest. We're getting much better numbers than we have been. And we literally got the feature yesterday. Like, there's a new feature that you can use as a YouTuber that's super helpful. They're rolling it out. Well, when they started rolling it out, all of a sudden, all of our channels were doing terribly. And we're like, what the frick is going on? And it's because until you have the feature, it like breaks search. And so you kind of need to do two things. I was explaining this to somebody the other day. As a YouTuber, you need to appear to your existing subs and new people. And when you stop showing up to new people and that click rate goes down, they start showing you less to your existing subs as well because they're like, oh, something's wrong. So when those two things are working in harmony, you're doing great. You get to talk to your existing peeps, and you get to talk to new people. It's a beautiful way of creating organic growth. The feature lets me see what people on the channel are searching for. So if suddenly we see a spike in people searching for a particular game, we know that might be something worth covering. We're like, oh, they're interested in this, right? It's helpful to people, especially who dig down on one game, because it'll show you, hey, people were looking for an answer to this question and they didn't find an answer. It's really, really helpful. They've outlined it in a couple of YouTube videos. This isn't like private information that I'm giving you. It's a way for you to know what your audience is interested in a more specific way. Gonna know all my secret? No. It only shows it to me if a bunch of people are doing it. Like if one of you searches for, I don't know, bald person wax museum, I'm not going to see that and be like, what kind of a who is into that? I'm not going to see that. But out of my 13,000 subscribers, if a bunch of you are searching for Diablo Immortal pay-to-win controversy, then I'm like, ooh, that's a hot topic right now, and I know to make sure and maybe cover it or do an opinion piece on it. So niche things like Souls games. That's right, Abe, you frick. So if we all look up videos of gassy babies, then you'll see that. Yes. There's a lot of parents. There's a lot of parents in our sub base. So we do see parental video trends. Like farm animals, yeah. Farm animals and something about babies playing, I think. And I'm like, oh, that's definitely parents. They're showing it probably to an infant or something. Here's babies playing. Oh, here's a farm animal. Here's a cow going moo. I was like, yeah. We definitely have a lot of parentos in the audience. Oh, I heard gassy babies. Yeah, Hex's baby made a special appearance on the Friday night community game night. If you guys weren't here and you're a member, go watch the VOD. The cutest little voice I've ever heard. I was like, if we start losing after the baby leaves, you have to go get the baby, wake the baby up, and bring him back. My nephew was very gassy. I had to turn to YouTube for help. I found a way to squeeze farts out of him. Yeah. You can treat him like a squeeze toy to a certain degree and not hurt them, and then they feel way better. You pump their legs, curl them up in a ball, and all of a sudden it comes out and they feel way better. We had to do gas drops with both of our kids. The kicking of the legs didn't work, and the gas drops did wonders. Oh my goodness, did they do wonders? How many still search that? Not many, Robert. No, that's not a high search term. Now we get people search for Reforge Gaming, which is really encouraging. Like, we want that. We want to see people doing that. Something tells me you aren't supposed to squeeze a baby, but I'm not a parent. You do it in a natural way. You don't just pick them up and squeeze them like a squeeze toy. You kind of you turn them into like a little workout, like a little baby workout. What does the fox say? I don't know. What does the fox say? That's truly the question, is it not? Yo, Eric Noble coming in with a membership. Thank you so much. Enjoy the dope badge and emotes. You are dope and deserve dope stuff. First new member of the day over here on Reforge Gaming, Tier 1. Don't forget, every Thursday afternoon and Friday night is members only. Those are extra streams. Again, we don't take away from the core content on this channel at all. I'm imagining Zubair bear hugging his nephew. No, we will not be playing Elden Ring today. We do not want to play that game every day. It's a real easy way to get yourself classified as an Elden Ring channel, which we are not. Although, listen, if you guys last week saw my attempts to play Elden Ring with no summons, it turned sour real fast. But yesterday I addressed it, said, listen, that's not the kind of content I want to create. I'm committed to being better, not just as a gamer, but as a person. I don't think that that's acceptable to completely lose control like that. For me personally, in my own personal and spiritual life, I don't think that's an acceptable way to behave. And I'm working on it personally. And that playlist can be an actual method of the journey. And so yesterday was a literal night and day difference. It was 1,000 times better. I played better. My attitude was better. It was just better all around. We have a better build as well. Eugene was like, get a straight sword. Get a straight sword. And it made a huge difference. And I did my first no-hit boss yesterday. I've never done a no-hit boss in any of the games I've played. Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. I've never done a no-hit boss. And I accidentally did a no-hit boss. You actually pronounced my name correctly. Thanks. You are welcome. Thank you for being here, Eric. It's a unique spelling. Is there a reason for the unique spelling? Is it country of origin? Is it something you've chosen for yourself? Because I've never seen it spelled that way before, and I'm actually interested, and I want to make sure I'm cognizant of anything that might be going on with the name. What are you doing, Eugene? I wish YouTube had text-to-speech. What is happening? You think you can do it without raging? Just you wait. Sven says it was a noticeable difference. Good stuff. Yeah, Donut even left a comment, and he was like, bro, you are playing like 100% better and different. This is great. I almost no-hit a tree sentinel last night with the Game of Thrones greatsword. Dope. I don't know if I want to start doing that with fights. I think that's too much pressure, right? I've not played Diablo. Would you say this is worth jumping into? Darren, Diablo Immortal releases on June the 2nd for iOS and Android devices as well as PC in the form of a beta. PC will be the entire game with both cross-play and cross-progression. I think if you like dungeon crawlers or RPGs, it is 100% worth checking out. Yes. Yes. It is 100% worth checking out. And if the microtransactions or the PvP or the certain elements and things that go into it and entail it, I could see saying no, pass, skip, stop playing. But I get Erwick all the time. It's just a unique spelling of Eric. Okay. I just want to make sure. We have people in our community who have changed names or adjusted their names for other reasons. So I didn't want to be presumptive about the name Eric. So I'm just trying to be sensitive to potential realities that, it's difficult to be aware of and cognizant of it and sensitive to it. It's easy to just be presumptive, Let's make some Gangnam Style references while we're at it. No. No. Let's not do that. All right, so we've had a new member today, a couple of membership renewals, no coffee orders. Who wants to be the first coffee order of the day? Huh? Who wants it? I am going to take a very brief break. I'm going to go use the restroom and I'll be back down. I'm going to run some ads on YouTube. If you want to support the channel directly, we don't really do much with advertisements. We make most of what we do and most of what supports us is through paid memberships. It's why we offer members-only content. I don't like doing members-only content in my sort of spirit, but it's a business necessity, to be honest with you. So, $5 a month, really adds up when a ton of people do it. We're setting our sights on 500 members. If we hit 500 members before the end of this month, my wife has to play Elden Ring. Not the entire game, but there'll be a Friday night where she has to play Elden Ring, okay? So, help us hit that goal, okay? I think we're 80 something away. We've got a chunk of members to go before we get there. And I only ever run ads when I step away. Thank you as well, all of the new subscribers today. We've had a nice subscriber bump. Oh my gosh, we're actually closer to 500 than I thought. We need 47 members to get 500 members, and then my wife has to play Elden Ring. But you have to do it in April. Or the incentive goes away. All right? I'm going to hit some ads. TikTok. Don't go anywhere. Nice shirt. Thank you. You can get this from 80stees.com. Just remember to use code LONO for 30% off. LONO. 80stees.com. Always remember to use my code. It supports me. It's from their DC collection over there. All right? Okay. I'm going to step away. Don't go anywhere. You guys on TikTok, you don't have to do anything. The next show, you can stay put. You guys on YouTube, I'll redirect you, but we'll do that in a moment, okay? So don't leave. Smash like, subscribe, join, coffee, all the things. I'll be right back. Okay. We are back. We are back. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. People watching on TikTok, people watching on YouTube, people smashing the like button. We appreciate it very, very much. I was talking to my kiddos. My daughter left me a note this morning. She's learning cursive, and she left me a note. So I wanted to make sure and thank her and encourage her. Like, oh, it looks so good. Oh, we need a Ubisoft or Ubisoft wallpaper. That's not bad. Gotta zoom it. Yo, Behemoth with 15 months. Yeah, that'll look good. 15 months in a tier 2, dude. Welcome back to Reforge Gaming. I appreciate it. Those of you that are watching on TikTok, thanks for listening in. This is a Monday through Friday video game talk show. We appreciate your support so much. We've gotten some new members today. A lot of new subs as well. Thank you. Oh, golly. Well, that's in that category we're trying to avoid. Shoot. That'd be a good one, though. Let me get my notes ready. I think we can just go a little early to the next show. I think it's the right call. 700 votes on the poll, too. Really good turnout on the poll. That's one of our stronger ones that we've had recently. So thank you for that. Thank you for the support. Weekly ranking. What's our weekly ranking over here? Oh, I see. The weekly ranking for us on TikTok. We're climbing because of the likes. You guys have been going crazy. All right, let me send out a tweet for the next stream. A new game, stocks, and a buyout. Yo, my man Hex coming in with 6 months of membership. Loving the content and the community of peeps I've met here. Keep on trucking, homie. I appreciate it, man. Like, I've done my best the last couple weeks to not show it. I was really discouraged yesterday evening, and obviously my family, that's one of the reasons my daughter left me a note. They rose to the occasion. I've done my absolute best to not let it infect, the show. I don't want it to affect what we do. I don't want it to affect the quality here. And yeah, I got some great perspective this morning too. From there was a Q&A session with Peterson, and he answered some guy's question, and it wasn't even what he was intending to say. But it just reoriented me like in an instant. I was like, oh my gosh, that's freaking brilliant. Just so good. Let's break down all the latest Ubisoft news. Because I'm confused. Confused. Okay. What was that nugget? Share wisdom, please. Okay, here. I'll drop it on you. Did he tell you to suck it up and mash the gas when crap doesn't go your way? No. So he was saying how there are people. He was answering some kind of a question about meaning, and he basically said that there are people who will try to say that because in so many billions of years, the sun's going to burn up, what's the point in doing anything? And he gave the example of, are you going to ignore a crying baby because of that truth? The idea being that, like, well, the sun is gonna just completely be eviscerated in so many billions of years, so what's the point in anything? And so they'd be like, why should I even bother caring for my child, right? He said nobody would do that. He said, and if somebody was doing that, you would see the insanity of it, and you would tell them that they're functioning and thinking along the wrong timeline, right? And it really just, like, in an instant, he wasn't even speaking to what's been going on with what we do, but, like, in an instant, it just reoriented my thought in that being discouraged about a day or a week of, you know, the results that we don't want to see and the metrics we don't want to see, I'm allowing that to affect me in a negative way because I'm thinking in the wrong timeline, right? In the inverse, the person who's not taking care of their baby because the sun's going to burn up in how many billions of years, they're thinking so long term, it's corrupting the present. And I believe you can corrupt the present by over-focusing on the minute things and the minutia instead of thinking in a larger picture. And also, I think you just take each day as it comes. Like, that's the timeline you have to think in, is this is what I have to do today. These are the things I'm responsible for. Yesterday, whatever, what happened last week, the metrics, blah, those have no effect in what I have to do today. This is what I'm responsible for. And if I do all these things as excellently as possible, I can take satisfaction in that. And I can do the same thing tomorrow and tomorrow. And so every day, putting myself in a framework that makes more sense as to what we're doing. We've had plenty of bad days with respect to metrics and weeks. We've had absolutely tectonic things happen to us. We've had, you know, absolutely destructive things happen to us, and we survived. So thinking in that realm of don't be discouraged or frustrated by thinking in the wrong timeline. And I was thinking in the timeline like this, of like just focusing on these teeny tiny details. You know, one stream is like this in a year, right? Expand that perspective and think this is the timeline, and each day is investing in that timeline. In an instant, it was like, it just struck me like a lightning bolt that that's one of the problems with what I've been doing lately, you know, internalizing that frustration and that irritation with everything. So it was extremely helpful. And then my daughter's note, like, was just, I don't know, it was exactly what I needed. She's the sweetest little 8-year-old ever. It's hard to think in that timeline when literally every day it costs money to live. The girlfriend and I are doing that too. It's just really hard. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm certainly not saying that it's easy. I'm working through wisdom literature right now every morning, and so much of what it establishes is it's a daily task, right? Aristotle said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is a habit. So if you want to aspire to excellence, greatness, wisdom, goodness, it's a daily thing. It's not something you just decide to do one day. It's a daily habit. This is why the empty virtue of the internet is so see-through. Because it's not a daily habit. It's a convenient power grab for clicks and impressions. So, yeah, that was what I needed this morning, because I was getting down and I wasn't letting it affect the stream too much, but it definitely, I think, was one of the reasons why I kind of blew up at Elden Ring on Friday. Like, I just blew up at the game, I think, because I was bottling all that frustration. I just took it out on that moment, which is a terrible way to process your emotions. I tell you that all the time. I have to beat you up sometimes. With the skill set and talents you have, the answer is always mash the gas. Crap's going wrong, mash the gas. Yeah, you know what? That's one of the things Peterson always says. He says that verbal competency is the greatest ability that you could possibly have. He said, have you ever gotten in an argument with somebody who is verbally competent? He's like, they will shred you. He's like, and they are always successful. He's really big on that. And obviously, I have a little bit of a bias there because I'm like, I think I'm pretty verbally competent. So, like, that's one of the reasons I've been able to do what I do and create an entire business that centers around me talking. Like, if you really break down what in the world I do, you know, that's my secret, Cap. I never process my emotions. You talking about Jordan Peterson? Yes. Yeah. Some people don't like him. Some people think he's controversial. I don't think so. I think he's brilliant. I think we'll look back in 50 years and he'll be one of the most influential minds, I think. But that's for the other channel. We're dipping our toes in Reforge Radio. We got to shift gears to the next gaming talk show. Donovan with a $2 tip through Super Chat. We love you and we'll support you as much as we can. Thank you very much, Donovan. I appreciate that. Sorry. No, you're good, Jimmy. It's my fault. I'm the one who brought it up. Every once in a while, I try to get transparent and just open up. Like, I got to take this hoodie off. It's getting warm in the house as the day heats up. You know, it's one of those things where I didn't want to put that out there. We got into it a couple of days. I started kind of complaining about the numbers and YouTube jacking stuff up, and it was just like, you know what? Let's just not bring that into the show. And when you don't bring it into the show, it's got to go somewhere. And I don't like dumping it all on my wife either when we take our walks and stuff. So, anyways, let's get ready to transition here to the next show. Can you enable dark mode on those arms? I don't know. What's the matter with my arms? What are you talking about? Ooh, okay. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, redirect is set up, but it doesn't always work. Let me make sure this is the correct YouTube address. There it is. Okay. Okay, there's a YouTube link in chat. If that doesn't work, then use the link. If redirect doesn't work, use the link in chat, okay? Is leg showing today? No, people are just making fun of my arms. My shirt is white, and it actually shows that I'm not that pale. Jiminy Christmas. Rude. Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is going to be another episode of Reforge Gaming News, talking about Ubisoft news. There's an acquisition that might be happening. They launched a new game. Their stocks were down. Now their stocks are up. I'm kind of confused as to what's going on over there. People think that Sony might be buying them. What does it have to do with Sony's goals, with live service games, and the future of some of the bigger titles under the Ubisoft umbrella, like Assassin's Creed Infinity? If you like this style of content, it's like a talk show. Hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my episodes. I try to go to this scene right at the beginning. That way you are able to get all the